Justice Rhodes, we have the means, and the men, and the will to arrest you here this day, to put you on trial for a host of crimes. But I am prepared to offer you mercy and peace. Will it be Justice Silas or peace?
Without justice, there can be no peace.
Welcome to Tavern Talk. We're here today with Napoleon Ryan. Napoleon is an English actor, writer, and producer who has appeared in How I Met Your Mother and The Master with Philip Seymour Hoffman, which I didn't know, by the way. I was looking it up today. In addition to Our Own Quarters, New Hampshire, where he portrayed Governor Wentworth. Your basic bio, you're half Irish, half English?
Yeah. My father was from Dublin, and my mother's from sort of just outside London. And I grew up there. At a fairly early age, I enjoyed performing. I used to sing opera, and I did one opera at the English National Opera, and I did a lot of auditions as a child. I didn't seem to necessarily get cast in TV stuff, but I did do one where there was a TV show that Kate Winslet did, which was her first. So I could have theoretically been Kate Winslet's brother in this show.
Well, you're very fortunate it wasn't 16th century or 15th century. You could have been still doing opera.
Well, I could have been, yes. I could have been, yes, emasculated, castrated. Well, I did. Well, the thing is, I think some of these castrati were pretty masculine guys. Mm-hmm. But obviously...
Well, I mean, did they remain sounding like a child soprano? Is that what the goal was? I mean,
well, I think they definitely sound. I mean, they definitely had a treble voice as an adult. I don't know if their speaking voice was low, but a lot of the time these guys grew to be like 6'5", 7 foot tall.
But the pitch still remained fairly high.
The castrati. I mean, I'm not a great expert on castrati,
opera history,
but I believe.
But you sang opera. Father's Irish, mother's English, but you have a degree in history as well. Right?
I do, yes. My mother, she works for English Heritage, which is basically they preserve old monuments within Britain. And my mother literally goes into people's houses and looks at their inglenook or their chimney piece and says, "Don't alter that. That is a historic monument that must be preserved for posterity." Yeah. And so that's where, as a child growing up, we used to go around to castles and stately homes, and I think that's where I got my interest in history, which led to my degree.
Well, the name Napoleon, though. Explain that.
Yeah, well, when I was born, my father went to a fortune teller. And my father used to tell fortunes, actually, which was kind of interesting, because he used to do it at the school fetes that we did, or school fairs, which freaked out some of my teachers by the things he said.
Was he a palm reader?
Yeah, he was a palm reader, a chiromancer. And anyway, so... when I was born, he went to a fortune teller, and the fortune teller did a big horoscope of my life, and said something like, "He will have great destiny, give him name of destiny." I don't know if he was Italian or Irish, I don't know. But anyway, the person who did that drew up this horoscope, and my father then promptly lost it. So I have no idea. He knew, but I have no idea what.
But it had to be a commanding name.
So. Yeah, it had to be a commanding name. Give him name of destiny. And so my mother, she did her degree. I think she started a PhD on Napoleon Bonaparte, the mind of Napoleon. And so obviously she was very interested in him. And my father didn't want to give me a name that was a family name, a traditional Irish name, because he felt that I'd inherit the family weaknesses for drink and women. So I think, and then someone else that we knew said, "I dare you to call him Napoleon." Which is kind of interesting. I met somebody whose grandfather was called Sherlock Holmes, and he was a policeman, and Sherlock Holmes was the policeman rather than obviously the fictional detective. His father, when he was born, it was early 1900s, and somebody had dared his father to call his son, because he was Mr. Holmes, call his son Sherlock.
In American colonies, I mean, children were named Lafayette and George Washington.
You don't get that many Napoleons generally.
Yeah.
I mean, there is that photographer in the 19th century.
Very unique growing up then, right? I mean...
yeah, I'd say so. Particularly in South London.
Did they morph into any nicknames? I mean...
none that I'd care to share, particularly.